recognize we see things differently and we hear things differently. And this author likes to say that the woman has the rose-colored glasses on, but not just how she sees things, but how she hears things. It's like rose-colored headphones, or hearing aids. And the man has blue glasses on, tinted glasses, and blue hearing aids. And I think that's a good point, because we always want to say, like, no, we're just equal.
Yeah, I remember when we got engaged. I'm from Mexico, and Pam was from the U.S., and we went down to Mexico to meet my parents, and we got engaged. And I forget when this happened, before we got engaged or after we got engaged.
The morning before.
Oh, the morning before?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I went and got her some flowers. I went to the street market there in Mexico, and I bought her this, what I thought was a beautiful arrangement of flowers. Actually, a friend of mine told me, oh, this is the one you should get her. So I got her this, and I'm a guy that I never got flowers for anybody else before. I was not into being romantic, or I never dated or much or anything. So when I got, that was like a huge show of love from my perspective. But when she received the flowers, she was just like, oh, thank you, they're nice. And I thought, what? What? That is the greatest display of love and affection that I've ever done for anybody else, and that's all you can say. I expected her to be just full of emotion and demonstrative, and she wasn't. And reason number one is because she told me later, honestly, it looks like a funeral arrangement.
Yeah, the kind that they put in front of the casket? That's what it looked like.
So that and the fact that we have different personalities, right? So we've talked about personalities before: the blue or sanguine personality, expressive, or the red, driven or choleric personality, the green or melancholy personality, and the yellow or phlegmatic personality. So being that mine is red, blue, sanguine, choleric personality, and Pam being
yellow-green.
Yeah, which is what phlegmatic,
melancholy.
So your way of receiving and showing affection.
Yeah,
is
he
different.
wanted me to jump up and give him a big passionate kiss. I imagine him yelling, "Oh, this is the greatest thing!" And that's not me. I'm going to take in a moment more internally. I'm not necessarily going to show it all that emotion.
And the gift of it. And also the horrible conflict is that we were different. I mean, that's the dichotomy, the contradiction, right? But that is what God designed to be able to help us know Him and grow in character and in leadership within the family. If you look at the Bible in Genesis, the Bible says that God created us in His image and likeness, male and female. So we are a reflection of who God is, and complementing each other. And the way we do it, the way we can do that is by laying our lives down for each other. There are different words for the word love in the Bible, and one of them is agape, which means it's not a feeling, it's not an emotion, it's not even phileo, it's not having something in common, it's not eros, the physical sexual love. No, it's sacrificing yourself for the other, even though you don't feel like it. Loving someone even though you don't feel like they deserve to be loved. Respecting the husband even though you don't feel like he deserves to be respected. You better say something because I got to look at my notes.
Well, I don't know. I think if you got the idea of the crazy cycle, I think what was interesting to me that this author points out that as women, we totally get it about unconditional love. And when the Bible says, husbands, love your wives unconditionally, we're like, whoa, yes. Unconditional love, that's the highest form of love. And it is. But I think if we would look at the phileo love, and that our husbands need to feel our friendship. They need to feel our respect. Like, what is it you like about a friend? Or how do you feel with a friend? You feel like they like you, they respect you. It's mutual. And I think sometimes we're like, I love you. And you're like, yeah, you love me, but you don't like me, And a man wants to feel, that's part of the respect thing. They want to feel like you just like them, who they are, that they aren't enough. It's not just what they do, but who they are is enough. And I know that made when I got this about okay, what he really wants is respect. I thought of the song, the Kenny Rogers song. I remember listening to it with my mom one time, and it was kind of a big moment because we didn't usually listen to secular radio, but for some reason this song came on. But he believes in me, singing it.
She believes in me. I'll never know just what she sees in me.
Okay, so we're listening to this song, and my mom says, Pam, if you will believe in a guy, that is like the most important thing. That song, they got it right there. And I've always remembered that, and that's what I remembered when I heard this concept of love and respect. It's like, what does Cesar want? He wants to know that I believe in him. He didn't do things perfectly. He messes up, but do I see him and believe in him, right?
Yeah. And it's...
I believe in you.
Thank you. So I've learned to love from you because through my growing up, I had so many insecurities that I immediately wanted to protect myself and reject when I felt there was a possibility that I was not going to be accepted. And you have taught me to love unconditionally. And that is exactly what God did with us, right? The Bible says that while we were yet sinners, he came and he died for us. He laid down his life for us. Even though we were the one who owed him something, he laid down his life and he came and took the first step in that reconciliation to save us from ourselves. And in Ephesians 5:33, Paul actually writes, and it's very interesting. I'd never read that verse until I had read this book some years ago. Each of you also must love his wife as he loves himself. And the wife must respect her husband. This was written by Paul to the Ephesian church in Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey. And he was giving them some instructions on relationships. And it's so interesting that he made that distinction, right?
Yeah. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, respect your husbands. It's like God has the keys. That's what the Bible, it's so relevant. That's why I think we do. When we're listening just to culture, just to everyone,